Hi YouTube family, I'm back again. It is the 1st of August and guys, I am excited. I'm just excited to be at the beginning of a new month. I guess I'm one of those people who's like, okay, new month, new focus, and really it's a new chance to kind of get everything right, or to try your best to get everything right. Today I wanted to come at you with a very quick video that I've decided to call The Truth About Diets. Now you may be looking at this thinking, what does she mean, the truth about diets? I want to start by saying this is my truth. I am just at about 30 pounds lost, and I wanted to share with you my truth about dieting because I think a lot of people have this idea that if it works for her, it'll work for me, or that, we're all going to lose weight at the same rate. Yeah, or that there's the one-size-fits-all solution. And so I just wanted to come at you with my truth about dieting. Maybe I should start by saying that. And I've just jotted down a few points in terms of what I've learned. And hopefully this video is going to help somebody as you go around doing your research. And if you are on a weight loss journey, hopefully you can relate to some of these as well. But I wanted to throw this out there because I think a lot of people start a weight loss journey. You do your research online. I used to Google, oh, this woman lost 150 pounds, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to do exactly what she did and get exactly the same results at exactly the same pace or in the same timelines, and it doesn't always work that way. So point number one, there is no one-size-fits-all solution. So just because your neighbor lost weight on Atkins or Herbalife or whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are actually going to have the same results with that diet. So there is no one-size diet. There is no perfect diet because there's so many factors that affect weight loss. It could be things like hormones. Are you super stressed? Your age plays a factor. Sometimes I've heard that, ethnicity or your genetic makeup, not necessarily ethnicity, but your genetic makeup, genetics play a factor. Activity levels play a factor. So just because one person has had these amazing results, I watch the videos where people are like, oh, I dropped cola and sweets from my diet and suddenly, I lost 50 pounds. Okay, that's not been my experience. I cut cola, not that I had a lot of cola in the beginning, but it's not like I have pop, it's not like I have sweets, and guess what? I have not lost 50 pounds. So, what works for one person is not necessarily always going to work for you. So be kind to yourself when you're looking at your results. The only person you should be in competition with is yourself. Don't be watching these YouTube videos or going online and getting discouraged or disheartened because you're not getting the same results as X person or Y person. They did it, they had their own journey, they fought their own battles, and they've come to the end of it. But most people who have lost a lot of weight will actually tell you that it's a constantly evolving process. A person might start by cutting out sugar, and then they actually incorporate exercise and then probably monitor portion sizes, and so it's an evolving thing. So there's no one size fits all. Within that, be aware of or be skeptical of any fads. Now in my previous videos I've told you I've done it all. I've done just shakes where you're only on protein shakes and having 500 calories a day. Yes, you will lose weight, but your hair might fall out, or you might get teeth issues. I know so many people who've done it in my family. We're one of these families where if one person's doing it, everyone else will jump on the bandwagon. And trust me, we did the Cambridge diet, and a lot of people in my family had a lot of side effects. So I'm not knocking the Cambridge diet, but I'm saying be careful and be aware when you are doing these fatty kind of diets. If it's artificial, if it's processed, if it's not real food, if it's offering lots of substitute, like I'm always really skeptical as well of like substitute cheesecake or whatever, because whatever they're taking out in sugar, they're pumping back in the form of chemicals and other stuff. So just eat real food and stay away from the fats. Within that, some people might be watching this and saying, yeah, but you're doing low carb, high fat. For me, low carb, high fat is something that I've been able to kind of deal with because I do eat salad. I've never been a big consumer of sugar. So, the fact that I can start my day with some avocado and maybe a boiled egg or something like that, have some salad with chicken and I put feta and all sorts of things in it, and then come home in the evening and have some steak and broccoli, cauliflower mash or whatever. I feel like it's balanced and I feel like it works for me, but I feel like I'm eating real food. So do what works for you, but anything that is just lots of substitutes, lots of chemicals, I would really be skeptical. And anything that you can't sustain long term, I mean, I can eat, so I'm enjoying what I'm eating and I feel like I can handle that long term. I might tweak it a bit. As you've seen, I've been trying to tweak it to get optimum results for me, but I'm not saying this diet is the one that works. I mean, I'm frustrated with this diet. I have my own issues with it, but I'm evolving, I'm tweaking it, and I'm basically doing what works for me. So within that, do you, as they say, do you boo boo, do you. The next point is be prepared to work your butt off, literally. Okay, so I'm not saying exercise is the end all and be all, but I remember sitting there with my sister looking at pictures of people who've lost huge amounts of weight, and she said to me, if you lose loads of weight, are you going to look like a melted candle with all the loose skin kind of hanging off you? And it's true, I was thinking about it. Now, one of the ways to combat that is exercise. And exercise may not necessarily be necessary, so again, depending on what you're doing, I know it's 80% what you're eating, but definitely it helps speed things up and it helps tighten things up. So again, if you follow people like Diva Slims Down, I'll put her link below. There's a lot of other YouTubers that I've been watching over the years, and those girls, some of them were in the gym 2, 3, 4 hours a day. Now, I'm not saying do that, but I'm saying be aware that there is going to be work. You're going to need to put in work, and it's not always going to be easy. It's not going to be pleasant, but you do have to get in the mindset that you are at some stage going to need to put in the work if you want those optimum results. The next thing is that calories really count. Now, eating too much, so even on low carb, high fat, on a low carb diet, I've struggled because I may be following all the guidelines, but I may just be eating too many calories one day because, cheese and other high fatty stuff, as much as they say, oh, don't worry about it, it matters. It actually does matter. So calories really do count. I'm not saying be super restrictive, but be aware that it counts. There's no such thing as a get out of jail free, eat out however many calories you want and not have any kind of, or not experience any kind of negative impact of that. So your calorie content, or your calorie consumption rather, really does count. Similarly, if you try these starvation type diets, your body can just go into that kind of it slows everything down basically, and it goes kind of into starvation mode, and so you could be starving yourself and not losing anything, and that's because you're eating too little. So again, you need to find that optimum and get to that place where you can maintain it, you're eating enough, you're giving your body all the nutrients and everything that it needs, and you're still in a place where you can lose weight. And if you're not necessarily having that deficit with your food, then exercise it off. Some days I'll exercise and say I'm going to exercise off my breakfast just to create that little deficit. So think about that, and bear that in mind, that there's no such thing as a calorie free, woohoo, yippee, eat what you want. It just does not work that way, and it will not work that way. Guys, this weight loss thing is no cakewalk. Excuse the pun. But what I mean is, it's a long, hard slog. Trying to lose weight, especially if you're trying like me to lose 100 pounds or over 100 pounds. I'm only 30 in, and there's some days I feel like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. And then there's some days when I'm super hyper, I'm excited, I look at my belly in the mirror, I see less Michelin man, more waistline, and then, I get happy. But I know it's going to be a long, slow process, and this has been a real wake-up call for me in terms of trying to chip away month by month. It's not fast. So again, I lost 50 pounds in 3 months. Good for you, but it's not my experience, and don't beat yourself up if it's not been your experience. It's long, it's slow, it's arduous, and even after you lose the weight, it's keeping the weight off, and that maintaining phase apparently is even harder than even just trying to lose the weight. So it's long and it's slow, and just get that in your head that it's gonna take a while to get those results that you want. The emotional cost of weight loss.